Welcome into another episode of Balls and Brew, the flagship sports podcast here on the Morgan Podcast Network. I am your host, Rod Morgan. This podcast is executively produced by James Jamriska. Joining me is my co-host from North Carolina, and we have so much to get to this week. I'm going to dispatch with the normal hilarity that I try to bring him in with, except to say that he is bald. I like to just remind people every couple of weeks that he is bald. There is no hair on top of his head. It is Chris King.
Hello, Internet. Hey, Rod. How's it going? It's also shiny.
Yeah, that's right. It definitely is shiny. I will give you that. You keep that thing like Daddy Warbucks, man. I mean, Annie, the live musical was on TV a couple weeks back with Harry Connick Jr. looking creepy with the bald head. That is not you. And someone else who is not creepy is our guy, the football handicapper, joining us from South Bend, Josh Williams. Mr. Williams, hello.
What's up, Rod? What's going on? Week 15, first week of fantasy playoffs. Let's go.
Fantasy playoffs, that's right. I don't know how much I want to touch on fantasy playoffs because I like to give you a little bit of guff at the beginning of the year about how coy you were around the draft with not wanting to give away anything to your league. I am playing one Chris King this week in the first week in our fantasy playoffs, so I don't know how much fantasy I want to give away to old Chris, so I totally understand what you were doing at the beginning of the year, Mr. Williams.
Yeah, and I think it still backfired on me because one of the guys who I know listens to this pod who is occasionally on here, Corey Nance, I have to play him round one of the playoffs. And yes, he stole Jonathan Taylor and Austin Eckler from me in the draft. So that sly dog Nance.
That's right. And so, we will dispatch from a little bit of fantasy talk this week. We tackled it a little bit last week to try to help you get there. We have, a huge main event. A game that means an awful lot to at least two people on this podcast, and then a game that our football handicapper has found amazing for weeks. We will get to that as the main event, but let's dispatch with a couple of other things before we get there. Mr. Williams, let's start here, though. We have our first coach fired in the NFL, and it's one who we all thought it might have been weeks ago, but Jacksonville finally decided to make it a thing.
Yeah, I mean, how many chances do you get? I mean, he hired the strength and conditioning coach from Iowa who had a troubled past, and that should have been the first red flag. He's getting in arguments with Marvin Jones and, yelling at his assistant coaches that they're all losers. You got Fingergate a couple weeks ago, and then this happened before the year that he kicked Josh Lambo, the kicker. So, and nobody even knew about it until they actually interviewed the kicker, which I think is hilarious. But that once that came out, the owner of Jacksonville had to let him go. I mean, this guy sounds like a real piece of work, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, Chris, Urban Meyer comes off like just a real peach here. But I guess on some level this sort of works in college a little bit, but I think those days are rounding to a close. But it certainly wasn't going to work in professional football with, guys who are getting paid more than he's getting paid.
Yeah, in the NFL, you are an employer and they are employees. I mean, it is a business, and you are not going to get very far treating your employees that way, especially with as much money as they're making. He must have just been treated like royalty wherever he went in college to think he could act like this in the NFL. It's really kind of crazy to me.
Oh, there's no doubt that he's completely been treated like royalty when he came to Ohio State and won them a couple of national championships, and then when he came over to Fox and legitimized them to be able to do a noon show to compete with ESPN, and then Jacksonville rolled out the red carpet for him, and somebody else is probably going to roll out the red carpet for him because that's just how these things work. But let's not spend any more time on Urban Meyer. Let's also talk about something else that's, it's back up again. I mean, here we are. The COVID-19 is wreaking havoc. Players in health and safety protocols all over the place. Mr. Williams, I feel like you're probably sitting there constantly refreshing Twitter the way I know that you like to try to keep up to date on all information that you can at every moment.
Man, it's been crazy. 85 players put on the COVID list in the last 3 days, and by the time people listen to this, it'll probably be more. The Browns, Rams, and the WFTs have been affected mostly by it. They're still on track to play their games this week, but we'll see, man. You have to have 43 players on your roster to play a game. I'm sure they'll call some up from the practice squads, but it's getting real dicey here now with changes of rules and changes of protocols and what's going on with COVID. So, man, And it couldn't have come at a better time, right? First week of fantasy playoffs for
Exactly.
us NFL fans.
And then real life playoffs trying to round into form too. These teams, when they really need to be at their healthiest and clicking on all cylinders, are going to win. Chris, we are not epidemiologists here. We're not doctors. We're not researchers. We're not any of that. But if the news is to be believed that this thing is rapidly spreading throughout the country again, we probably may see even more people on the list next weekend after they get through this weekend's games, right? Doesn't that seem to make a little bit of sense to even non-doctors like us?
Yeah, as quickly as it's turning around and people get added to the list, you got to think that games next week are going to be in jeopardy at this point. And some weird kind of logic that only the NFL has, you have them coming out and say, well, we're going to go back to stricter protocols and we're going to talk about easing up the return to play for players. It seems, I don't know, counterintuitive both sides. I don't know. It just feels odd to me. The whole thing seems off, and if it keeps up, I think games will be in danger. And Cleveland is about to be the worst team hit because they are fighting for their playoff lives.
And they're going to be going with their third string quarterback to do it. So tough break for Browns fans. But let's stay with the team in their same state that's fighting for their playoff lives. Mr. Williams, that's one of your 2 picks this week. Let's start there.
Yeah, Denver and Cincy. I think I'm probably higher on Denver than you guys are, and I think I'm probably lower on Cincy than you guys are. And I want to like Cincy, but I'm going to take the Broncos here minus 2.5. Fun fact, Cincy has won once in Mile High since 1979.
Wow.
They're in the same conference. I mean, that
Boomer Esiason couldn't even win there?
That stat is amazing. Also, this is a big reason why I'm just kind of down on Cincinnati. They're 0-24 when trailing after 3 quarters under Zach Taylor. I mean,
did you say 0-24?
Or 0-24 under Zach Taylor after trailing after 3 quarters.
Now, in fairness to old Zachy Poo there, some of those games could be complete blowouts where it makes no sense for them to be able to come back. But I do agree with you that you'd think there might be at least 1 or 2 in a sample size of 24 games.
And it doesn't take that long to look back at the most recent game in overtime versus that team out west. Joe Burrow got you down to the 25-yard line in overtime, and what does Zach Taylor do? Calls a run on first down, calls a run on second down. They're in third and long, sack. So they have to settle for a field goal. You know what that team from out west did. They went down, scored a touchdown, got the win. But I mean, Burrow leads the league in passing yards per attempt. They just aren't throwing it enough, and they aren't playing fast enough either. I don't know where the up-tempo offense went from last year, but for the majority of the year, we just haven't seen it in 21. And the big thing is they don't disguise their plays very well. Since week 8, the Bengals are 21st in EPA per play on the season, and they're 21st in offensive efficiency. And this is after playing the easiest schedule of defenses in the NFL. Their O-line is also 31st in pass block win rate. Denver's D is 11th in pressure rate, and the majority of that was without Bradley Chubb, who they have back now. And Burrow has had 9 turnover-worthy throws when under pressure. And so, I mean, Denver getting both tackles back has helped them in the running game on offense. They've been 4th in EPA per rush since getting those tackles back. Cincy 28th in pass rush win rate, 28th versus the pass on first downs. Will Fangio and Shermer call up some pass plays on first downs? I think if they do, I think it could really open the ground game for them at home. And also, Cincy's linebackers are a real liability in coverage as well. You got 2 pretty good pass catchers out of the backfield in Denver, Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon. I know a lot of people want to like Cincy and are taking him this week.
Who are these people? Who are these people that want to like the Bengals? I don't know. I mean, I don't understand. Who are these people running around like they just the Who Dat? Well, I mean, the Who Dat Nation hasn't been a thing for a long time. I mean, I think Joe Burrow is going to continue the legacy of David Klingler and Akili Smith and all the other failed Bengals quarterbacks that couldn't get anything done. Jeff Blake, right? All these guys that couldn't get anything done for the Bengals. And I mean, Joe Burrow is a flashy guy and he did some cool things at LSU and clearly he can throw. But why anybody would want to get behind the Cleveland Browns, the Cincinnati Bengals, a rinky-dink franchise like that doesn't spend money, has subpar practice facilities and even game day facilities. I mean, I don't know who these people are you're talking about, Mr. Williams, but I love all the stats you got.
Well, I would have to say that I'm probably one of them. And let me just give you some stats. All right. I'm going to name some teams that have pretty good offenses in the AFC. The Chiefs, the Chargers, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Patriots. Guess what? Cincinnati has scored more points than all of them.
Listen, scoring points can certainly help win you some ball games, but I don't know. Like I
think
said,
Denver has problems with these elite offenses.
Yeah, but we haven't even. I can't believe Williams didn't even touch on the Teddy Two Gloves factor here. I can't believe your stats didn't include how great Teddy is against the spread, Mr. Williams. So I love that you had so many other stats and you didn't even go to our tried and true stalking horse. I said stalking horse a couple weeks back and that was wrong. I apologize for that. It's stalking horse and that's Teddy Two Gloves.
Yeah, that's. I mean, he let us down with the pick six that weekend too. Most of those stats were on the road, and as dogs right here, he's a home favorite. But still, I still like him, and I would push back on. I think Burrow's going to be awesome. I just don't like.
No, I got nothing against Burrow. I guess what I'm talking about here is we do culture so often, Mr. Williams. I know you're not a big NBA guy, but we talk NBA every once in a while on Balls and Brew, and we talk so often about how just team culture, right? Like a team like Minnesota or Sacramento is just kind of always downtrodden because of who they are and how they run things. And I guess that's more where I'm speaking about the Bengals. I think Burrow's a clear talent.
Yeah, and I'm more of a QB apologist. I know a lot of people like to get on QBs. I think more people should be getting on coaches.
Wait a minute. Who are you talking about? Somebody on this podcast perhaps gets on QBs from time to time, Mr. Williams? Just name names. That's okay.
You are extremely tough on QBs, yes. But I think more people should be getting on coaches rather than QBs. QB is the toughest position in sports, bar none. It's not even close. And these coaches put these players in bad positions. And you're right, half of it is culture, but I'm really hoping this is almost beginning to look like a start of Russ and Carroll relationship where they just wouldn't let Russ cook. It's like it's already let Burrow cook.
Yeah.
So I don't know about Zach Taylor, man. That's all I'm saying.
Chris, I love that. Let's stay with that for a second because, Chris, I know you've got some thoughts on this, man. What do you think about what Williams said there? Because I know usually you're not a huge coach guy, but I guess in the NFL, though, you do kind of think it matters, right?
I think a coach in the NFL definitely matters, especially team culture more than anything. You got your coordinators to run the offense and defense. You need that almost a general manager type for that NFL team. So I do think the head coach matters. I'm also with you guys. Let Burrow cook. I was on this podcast saying that I thought Tua was going to be the best quarterback in that draft, and so far Burrow's been the right choice.
Yeah, Tua takes a lot of guff, but he's actually come on these last couple of weeks and hasn't looked too bad as the Dolphins, who we were crapping on a little bit at the beginning of the year, continue to be one of the many teams in the morass for the playoffs in the AFC. And let's talk about another team still in the morass in the AFC, and that'd be the Baltimore Ravens, and they're taking on the Aaron Rodgers State Farm Green Bay Packers this weekend.
Yeah, and you guys were right with the Tua love there. He actually played his best statistical game last week, so things are looking up for Tua and Flores. Flores got that team rolling, like 6 straight wins, so look out for Miami going forward. But, Green Bay, Baltimore, this one's pretty simple, I think. Maybe it's too simple. I'm going to take the Packers team total over 24.5 points.
Wow.
We mentioned
that seems low. I'm not as good a handicapper as you, but that seems low to even me.
I know, which makes me pause a little bit. But man, this Ravens defense banged up. I know the Packers play slow. I know Baltimore runs a ton, but you're telling me the Pack can't put up 25 points. The Ravens this year have given up 33 to the Raiders. They've given up 35 to KC, 25 to the Colts, 41 to Cincy, 31 to Minnesota. And the thing is, the last 4 of those were all at home. And this game is at Baltimore. The last 3 weeks for the Green Bay offense, they scored 45, 36, and 31. You cut that down by 5 points, and they're still covering this spread. There's not that much handicap to this. I think Green Bay is trending up, and I think Baltimore's trending down. I just like the Packers over 24.5 team total here.
I listen, as much as I am not necessarily a huge fan of Aaron Rodgers, the way that he comports himself this year, the guy's play on the field is unmistakable, and I just scoffed at that number as soon as I heard it. But I joke about on the radio, 97.7, listen, if you're up here in the northern Indiana area, 97.7 on your FM dial. If you're streaming, that's 977rock.com. But I often talk about how it's a good idea to fade me, so the fact that I bit on that early might not be a good thing. Chris, you're our Lamar Jackson whisperer on this podcast. What's your thoughts, though, on the rest of the Ravens? We know what you think about Lamar. What's your thought on the rest of the Ravens as Mr. Williams is speaking to here?
I think the Ravens are in a tough spot here. I mean, they are in desperate need of a win to keep atop that division. But the Packers are going to be out to win this game. They win this game, they're in the playoffs, they win the division. So that puts Baltimore in a tough spot. You need a superhuman game from Lamar to pull
your
them
guy.
over
Come
top,
on, Chris. Your guy. My guy, Lamar. You can claim ownership of him. Your guy, Lamar. He can be your guy.
He is my guy. I've been a true believer since day one, but he's in a tough spot. The whole team is in a tough spot. I think Green Bay wins.
All right. Well, so we got two of Mr. Williams' 3 picks out of the way before we get to the main event. We got Denver -2.5 versus the Bengals, who Mr. Williams talked an awful lot about. You just never know what to expect with the Bengals. And I forgot to mention this. They lost to your Bears. I mean, that should tell you everything you need to know about the Bengals right there.
That is correct, man. That was a sloppy game, too. Oh,
and then your second pick of your 3 was Green Bay. Now that's the game total, right? That's not a first half total. I almost messed that up last week. That's the game total of 24.5, right?
Team total.
Team total, but for the game, I mean.
Total. Yep. Team total for the Packers over 24.5. Yep.
All right, Mr. King, you have one of your props is involved in our big main event as well. So let's get 2 of your props knocked out. Let's do a game that hopefully will just be a runaway. So we'll get one of your first one off the board here in the Bucks Saints clash, the big NFC South battle.
Yeah, right. Big NFC South battle. Well, I did not do well last week on my props. I went 1-2, so my overall record is 14-20. But my one win was with Taysom Hill, so I'm going to stick with him this week. I'm going to take the over 8.5 rushing attempts, -120. I think this is easy over. The last 2 games that he's started the full game, he's had 11 rushing attempts both games. They know that if they want to move the sticks, he's going to have to run. He's not going to pass for very much, so
because he can't pass very well.
I just think that's an easy over.
All right,
and
Mr.
I'm sure I'll be
ahead.
wrong, but I still think it is.
All right, Mr. Williams, I have a quick question for you, and I don't know if you have the answer for this or not, but I think you might because you're an experienced gambler. Is there some sort of distinction that Vegas makes on Taysom Hill rushing attempts, right? Does he have to do something different to make it a rushing attempt, or can he like drop back and then run and that becomes a rushing attempt?
No, I think it's like any attempt that is over the line of scrimmage. I think if he's out back there scrambling, they might consider that a sack and not factor that into the rushing attempt. But I think that, once he, gets past the line of scrimmage, I think that's a rushing attempt. So
okay.
Sacks
count
wondered
against,
if they were going to. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Sacks count against your rushing total, but not your rushing attempts. You're right, Williams. They have to cross the line of scrimmage. Or it has to be at least a designed play where they're running towards the line of scrimmage if they get tackled behind.
That's what I mean. I just wondered if they were going to try to pull some chicanery, right? Like if he's sitting at like 7.5 and then he gets like this big scramble, but they're like, no, he dropped back first and then he just ran because the play broke down. That's not a rushing attempt. I just didn't know if they tried to do something like that.
No, it should be after line of scrimmage. So yeah.
All right. Well, Mr. Williams, you gave us the old Pete and Russ let them cook earlier. The Seahawks, anytime they come up on this podcast, you usually have an interesting opinion. So I'll be anxious to hear what you think about Chris's prop that comes from the Rams Seahawks game.
So I do think Seattle is looking a little bit closer to what they should look like, maybe. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Rams as the first team to score in the game. You can find that -140 at Betway. I think with as good as the Rams defense is playing right now, I'm not worried about a letdown after the big win last week. I think even if Seattle gets the ball first, I think that the Rams can hold them and still get the first score.
What is it? 1-888 with it if you have a gambling problem in Indiana. If you're chasing the first score because your record is 14-20, perhaps it's time to call that number. Good Lord. Listen, people out there, if you are gambling, don't start chasing first score bets. My goodness, Mr. King, you are grasping at straws, my friend.
Maybe, but I need some wins.
All right, Mr. Williams, what are your thoughts on first team to score bets?
I don't really do a lot of those, but I mean, they're fun. I mean, I don't really know how to handicap that. Depends on who gets a coin toss, maybe. But seems like Seattle gets off to slow starts, so maybe that's good.
There we go. It's, you know what I mean? Listen, any good cook knows that it takes a while in the kitchen to get going. So for Russ to cook, it's usually the fourth quarter when Seattle's trying to come back in a game that's not normal. Shout out to our guy, Kevin Clark.
Yeah, and they don't have Tyler Lockett, which is going to kill my fantasy team. But yeah, he's out for COVID too.
And Mr. Williams, Mr. King told us he was 14-20. I forgot to update your record. Let's do that here real quick before we get into your final pick.
Oh, geez, was terrible last week. 0-3. The Browns up 24-6 on the Ravens. They got to win by 2.5. They end up winning by 2, of course.
That's a bad beat.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. And then Cam with the pick six. The 2 weeks in a row with the pick sixes with the over/under. That was killer. And then just a numbers grab on the Giants plus 10 against the Chargers. That one didn't work out either. So 0-3, got to get back on track. 20-22 for the year. But 4-2 on the outright upset pick of the year, and I have one for this week also. I don't think I talked to you about that pregame, but I do.
Oh, nice. We'll get to that one. We'll get to that one because I got a little. I'll have to do some little shot in the dark to make me feel better. After we get to it, the main event. I feel like in some ways we've been building up to this game all year long. Even times when we were trying to not talk about the Colts, I would veer off and do some Frank Reich rant, or I would certainly do some rant about Carson Wentz, or maybe even T.Y. Hilton. He caught a little bit of shrapnel for me at one time as well. As Chris likes to point out, I am the type of fan that loves to hate my teams more than anything else, and as I grow older in my life, I realize that is true. But I'm going to start here again. I have been watching Bill Belichick and those silver helmet Devils from New England beating the Colts in big games all the time. I've seen Carson Wentz make terrible decisions in big games in his short time as a Colt quarterback. I don't see any scenario where in good conscience I could say the Colts win this game. That's my preamble. Mr. King, your preamble as a Colts fan going into this game.
I think there's a definite chance that they can win this game. What is great about this game, even if you're just a football fan, you have the number one offense in the AFC versus the number one defense in the AFC. And so the number one offense is now a ground and pound type team, and I think that's something that can really get it done.
All right, you have a little more optimism than I do. Something else I didn't point out is that this game is on Saturday evening at 8:30. So Saturday night you can watch this game, and then it can lead right into an episode of Saturday Night Live. What a nice holiday weekend. Mr. Williams, there were Mr. King and I's thoughts as Colt fans. Let's go to you for the true handicapping of Colts v. Patriots Saturday night, 8:30.
Yeah, man, so this game is fascinating. A little behind the curtain here with some betting stats here. What the Vegas releases look-ahead lines later on in the year, and sometimes they'll release an extended look-ahead line where it's like 10 days out. So they did that first, and the line was Pats minus 2.5, and the limits are set pretty low on those in the first releases there. Within the first 10 minutes of that release, it was down to a pick'em. So major money came in on the Colts. And usually when that's the case, usually there's not that big of line moves early, because if you like a team, you don't want to give your hand away, so to speak, early, because you want to bet more when the limits are extended later on in the week. So you normally don't see that big a jump that early. So then the look-ahead line 3 days later came out. Another big group put some money on the Colts, took it up to Colts -1, took it up to Colts -1.5, Colts -2. We're sitting at Colts -2.5 now. So the Colts major money has come in on the Colts, moving this line 5 points. From the very start of the extended look.
Why do we think that is? If you had to point to one major factor, why do you think that is?
I'm about to break it all down here. I know you're not a believer in the Colts, but here we go.
All right.
So the Colts.
Now I might stop you here and try to retort instead of just letting you do some long monologue here. So just get ready.
Yeah. The Colts, based off win expectation, they are a win and a half below based on point differential. Okay, so that's the first thing. And remember, the Colts were dealing with COVID issues and injuries to that O-line earlier in the year, but since week 5, Wentz is actually 7th in EPA per play. And since week 9, over 8.1 air yards per attempt. It's the number 1 offense in EPA per play.
His physical tools are there. I think I've tried to clear that up the past couple of weeks, that his physical tools are there, man. His athletic ability, his arm, his accuracy at times is off the charts, but it's just that it's that noggin that gets him into trouble sometimes.
Yeah, and I would agree with you there. That mental part is definitely what he has to get over. A little bit of accuracy issues also. But really, other than just maybe 2 or 3 boneheaded plays since week 5, he really hasn't been a liability anymore, more so than what he was in Philly. So I know everyone thinks they're going to smash JT for a ton of carries here, but I feel actually like the Colts are going to come out passing in this one.
To who?
Pat's D.
To who exactly? The ghost? Please tell me you're not thinking T.Y. Hilton's actually going to be able to show up game time and give the Colts anything on the actual field of football play.
This is a reason why I like the Colts. I think they're balanced. So the Pats D has played passing offenses that are about 19th on average in passing efficiency. The passing offenses that were 15th or better averaged 24 points per game against them. And don't forget, the Pats faced 2 of those offenses, Tampa and Buffalo, in horrific weather. The other offense in that top 15 that they played, I know Chris remembers this one, it was the Dallas Cowboys. And they put up over 575 yards of offense on the Pats to go along with 35 points. Now, the Colts, get this. This is going to be surprising, I think, to both of you. Colts offense has played 7 defenses in the top 13. They're averaging 31 points per game in those matchups.
Yeah, we trounced the Bills. I remember that game. That game was absolutely great, but you didn't really answer my question. All right? Well, so Zach Pascal drops 3 passes a game. I mean, if they double Pittman, then you're just looking at what? Jack Doyle? I mean, come on. Who's he throwing to? I don't disagree with you that they might want that as a game plan. I don't know that we have the personnel to pull it off.
I think they're going to spread it around. I think Mo Alley Cox will be involved. I think Pittman. I think Doolin. I think
Hines.
A lot to Hines. The Patriots have struggled defending the pass out of the backfield. They're actually 29th in the league yards per attempt allowed to running backs out of the backfield.
Listen, their offense doesn't scare me, right? In years past, Tom Brady being back there always scared me. Their offense doesn't scare me in years past. It's that coach on the other side of the field with the game plan for a guy like Carson Wentz. He just strikes me as the kind of guy who knows how to push the buttons that's going to make Wentz make some of those boneheaded plays that you said he's gotten good at limiting the past couple of weeks, and I would agree with you, but I would also quickly say it's easy to not have a whole lot of boneheaded plays when you're giving your running back 30 carries a game, which no other team in the NFL does.
So then it becomes the chess match. What do you think Belichick's going to focus on? Because he's going to take somebody out of the game. He's either going to decide to take Jonathan Taylor out of the game, or he's going to take Carson Wentz out of the game.
I think he's going to take Pittman out of the game. That's what I think he's going to do. I think he's going to take Pittman out of the game, and he's going to say to himself, you can run Taylor all you want, because I'm fine with not having to put up a whole lot of points and win this game with my team, because he doesn't want Mac Jones to make a bunch of mistakes. Mr. Williams, what do you think of that?
I think he's going to look at the Tampa Bay game plan that they had against the Colts, and they did a lot of. I think they're going to blitz the run. I think they're going to try and take Jonathan Taylor away, and Jonathan Taylor might get yardage in between the 20s, but the Patriots are one of the best teams in the league at not allowing rushing touchdowns. So I think then again it's going to come back to Wentz. That's why I think the Colts are going to pass more in this game. I actually think the Patriots are going to pass more in this game.
You mean more than the 3 times they did in the Buffalo game?
Yeah, more than the 3 times. You can mark that down. Bold call. Patriots will pass more than 3 times. But yeah, so 57% of the tickets are on the Pats, but 70% of the money is on the Colts.
Basically, let me see if I can break that down. Basically, what you're saying is the guys who do this for a living and who are putting big money down have money on the Colts, but maybe more people feel the way I do, and they're like, how can you not take the Patriots here? But those are small money bets, meaning maybe more amateurs, guys who don't play as often, right? Can I take that to mean that, maybe?
Correct. And a lot of that money, they were taking the Colts at plus 2.5 and at Pick'em and at -1. Now I actually think the value has left the Colts at -2.5, and I would almost, if I had a Colts ticket at plus 2.5, if I was fortunate enough to get one of those, and if I saw the line go up to Patriots +3, like going into kickoff, I would actually take Patriots +3 and try to middle those 5.5 points right there. That's how I would play it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think we could live in a world where this thing is 3 by the time we kick off Saturday night?
I don't think so. I think I told you guys earlier in the week, I made this line Colts -1. You lost your mind, and it actually went beyond that. I don't think it gets to 3 because you're right. Belichick off a bye is super tough. I know the Colts are coming off a bye too. That's why this game is so amazing. It's got all the chess matches that you can think of, all the chess pieces. You got great balance. It's a crazy game. I'm so looking forward to this game here.
This should be a good game on Saturday night. I'm looking forward to checking out as much of it as I can. And I guess I'd forgotten to factor in the fact that T.Y. has had a whole extra week to get ready for this game. So he might be good at least in the first quarter for a couple of routes. They better hit him deep early in the first quarter because he's gonna no doubt come up lame at some point in the second quarter.
Yeah, and so my actual play for this game, now that I don't think that there's value on the Colts, I'm taking the over 46 here. This is a game with 2 top 10 offenses with possibly 2 slightly overrated defenses. The number got drilled right away by professional bettors at 44. I still think it's too low at 46. I think both coaches surprise here, and they go to the air more frequently than the average casual watcher would think. I like the over in this one.
Yeah, I mean, if you split the over you're taking there at 46 two ways, all right, that's 23 out of each team if it's going to be a close battle like we think. And there's no way the Colts win this game if they don't score over 23. So I think banging the over on that game is pretty good. Mr. King, your final thoughts on this game, and then I know you have a prop for it as well.
Yeah, I think that's an easy over to get to because I also agree. I think you're going to see a little bit more passing than, well, you're going to see more passing than what I would like from the Colts because I'm with you, Rod. I want to give it to Jonathan Taylor every time. But I do see it being high scoring. The Colts have proven even if they do give it to Jonathan Taylor, he can roll 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns in a game and carry us right on through. So overs, I think, going to be an easy hit.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that it's on Saturday night, too, is going to be really, really good. I've got to deliver the mail for the good people of Granger early on Saturday morning, and then I will be getting home and anticipating that game with a fervor. I know we're now anticipating Mr. Williams' upset pick with the fervor because he is hot as far as those go. So what do you got for us this week?
And you're going to get all over me here because of technicality, but it's still technically an upset.
Oh, here we go. Every time with you.
We're going Steelers. Going to get the outright win over the Titans. We're going classic Tomlin rah-rah spot. Steelers as a home dog this year, 2-0 straight up. They're 6-0 against the spread at home going back to 2018. And 53% of the tickets are on Tennessee. 73% of the money is on the Steelers. When Tomlin catches points at home, he's 12-3-2 against the spread in his career. When Big Ben is a home dog, he's 9-2 straight up, 9-2 against the spread also. And Steelers on extended rest, 14-1 straight up over the last 5 seasons, 37-10 straight up since 2000. I think the wrong team is favored here. I think the Titans offense has looked terrible the last 4 games without Derrick Henry. And the Steelers have to have this game. Classic rah-rah spot. Let's go Tomlin and the Steelers getting that outright W.
What do you have that line as? I see that thing as a +1, almost a pick 'em, and you're giving us an upset pick? What do you have the line as?
Steelers +1. That's an upset pick.
Oh, my goodness. No wonder you're 4-1 in your last 5 upset picks. This is ridiculous.
Look, there's 7 games out of like 13 this week.
No, you're right. I'm looking right now.
9.5.
I'm looking right now, but just to make sure that, because I had an idea in my head for where I was going to go for my upset special, and then I was looking and I see that there's so many that are just like, there's no way I can pick the Lions to beat the Cardinals or the Panthers to beat the Bills, and there's just so many double-digit ones. But what I'm going to do now, because I'm so mad at you for that garbage upset pick, is I'm going to go right for your heart. I'm going to say the Bears are going to beat the Vikings. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to like put a double whammy on your team so that they absolutely can't win because I'm going to pick them to win in the upset special over the reeling Minnesota Vikings.
On the great Monday Night Football game. That actually might happen because the Vikings, 10 out of their 13 games have come down to the last play of the game. 10 games, the last play of the game for the Vikings.
Wow.
So nobody plays more closer games than the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, there you go. We thought Matt Nagy might be the first coach to be fired. He has managed to stick around a little bit. Like, I don't think anybody anticipates him being the coach next year, but the seat doesn't seem to be as hot. Bear fans have basically just given up. And then down in Jacksonville, all of a sudden, Urban Meyer effed around and got himself fired. How about that? But Chris, you're with me, right? That he's going to end up coaching another college team like in 2 years, right?
Yeah, 2, maybe 3, and then he'll be back someplace. It'll be in a Power 5 conference.
I mean, he's going to be on, like, he's going to be doing, like, any Fox Bowl game coverage that they have coming up on New Year's 1, right? Like, I mean, he's immediately just going to walk right back into that contract, isn't he, Mr. Williams?
Oh, man, I don't know if you can do that if you're Fox or CBS. The stain that is on this guy, I mean, he's just giving off a real bad vibe right now, man.
Yeah, it'd be at least a year, I think, before he gets that kind of gig.
I don't know if you want that smoke if you're if you're at NBC or Fox or CBS.
I guess that's true from a network standpoint. I mean, college football is just a complete cesspool, so they're not really going to care. But I guess from a network standpoint, you're probably right about that they'd want to stay away from the bar grinding, field goal place kicking kicker Urban Meyer, who belittles the same men that he looked at all of their resumes and hired them and then makes them justify their jobs. I mean, just complete ridiculous behavior. Just like there's ridiculous behavior out of me sometimes. But Mr. Williams, what do you think? We were anticipating the Colts Patriots talk for a couple of weeks now. How do you think it went?
Oh man, it was awesome. I think this game is going to live up to the billing, and can't wait for it, man. It's going to be an awesome game.
So let's do predictions here, right? This used to be an old radio show bit. Predict headlines. What am I going to lead the podcast with next week based off of this game? Chris, you go first.
You will probably come back and be like, yeah, I know, I see the game, I watched it, but I still don't think we're very good.
Oh, wow. So Mr. King says he thinks the Colts are absolutely winning this game. All right, Mr. Williams, what am I leading the podcast with next week based off of this game?
Colts are legit Super Bowl contenders.
There's no way I'm going to say that, and you know that. Even if I believe it in my heart of hearts, you know I'm absolutely not going to say it on the podcast just to keep up appearances.
You might have to, man, if they can beat Belichick after Belichick had the Picasso of all coaching performances last week, and man, if they pull this out, and the Titans lose to the Steelers, could be division talk coming back up.
All right, Balls and Brew maniacs out there, I have a question for all of you as we sign off here. All right, if the Colts do pull this off and win this game and are garnering huge momentum towards the playoffs, do I need to continue my just bashing the Colts and not risk the reverse jinx, right? If I all of a sudden jump on the bandwagon and start agreeing with Chris and Mr. Williams every week, even if the Colts win this game, will I be messing with the mojo? Hit us up on Twitter. Send an email in to themorganknow@gmail.com. I believe you can do that, or you can put a message up on our Facebook page. Let us know what you think. Do I have to keep betting against the Colts no matter what to not mess up the mojo? With that said, I want to do a quick mention of the Mrs. Morgan You Know will have her Festivus blog coming up before too long. Don't forget, you can always check out my ambitions as a writer available for you at themorganknow.com. And the episode available for you right before this one, The Morgan You Know was back. After quite a few week hiatus, we got back together and we talked about some TV shows. So if you like Big Mouth, Survivor, Succession, or the new Sex and the City reboot, check that episode out. Me and the Mrs. Morgan You Know chop it up. Mr. Williams, thank you, sir. We'll talk to you again next week. And as always, Mr. King, the final word goes to you.
Goodbye, Internet.